Hi, I'm Liv and today we're going to be doing my 2024 reading wrap up. This is the whole year wrap up. This is the 100 books we're going to be talking about, and I've got a tier maker here. So this is the book video that everybody kind of waits for every year. So you usually wait for your favourite booktubers to do this video. I've never done it before because I've been so nervous to do it, because talking about 100 books, that's intimidating. So let's just get on with it. I have got a tier maker. I got this idea from Sarah Corelli. I saw her do it and I was just like, you know what, I'm going to film mine now and get out of the way. I've finished for the year on reading books. Today's the 31st of December. I am so ready to start a new one, but it's definitely not going to be finished today, so it does not go towards this. I am going to tell you the tiers that I've got. So the tiers, oh, what am I doing? The tiers that I've got here, we're going to go from the bottom to the top. So the bottom is why did I read this? This is going to be books that I either thought I could have DNF'd or I just could have gone without knowing these books existed. Then we've got I feel no different now that I've read this. These are books that I read them. I mean, they went towards my Goodreads goal and that's about it. I'm not too fussed about them. Maybe I enjoyed parts of it, but not really asked about that book. Then we have okay, I had fun. I did enjoy this book. It's not groundbreaking, but it was enjoyable, and you know, if you want to give it a go for it. Then we have yes. These are books I absolutely loved. They were great. I would highly recommend them, but they just don't get into that top tier. And then the top tier is I think about this regularly. These are books that I just can't get out of my brain. They're books that I think about, honestly, they just pop up in my head sometimes. I'm like, oh my god, that was an amazing book. I wish I could read it for the first time all over again. Like, do you know those types of books where you're like, oh my god, that experience was everything. So yes, I think I'm gonna start at the top and then work my way down. The ones at the bottom are kind of books that I read at the start of the year, but they're also just mixed up a little bit. Start off with this one. This is The Mistletoe Bat, and I don't know who this is by, but it is a romance novella and it's a short story. It was like 100 pages ish, and I really think that why did I read this? It was not the vibe, and I just I can't believe I read this. I thought it was going to be a cute cozy romance. It was meant to be set in Christmas time and everything, and it was like where the girl hates Christmas and the guy was going to convince her like Christmas is great. That's the whole point. And it was okay until we got to the spicy scenes, which I love a spice scene. However, some of the language used was really weird. Like, it made it more comedic than anything. It was too cringy. I had to like skim read a lot of the spice scenes because I was just like, I can't because it's really creeping me out, and the language used was just not it. It was I just wish I'd never read it. So we've got another short one that I read, but I honestly adored this. This was Big Nick Energy, and I'm actually going to put this in yes. This is a book that I read to actually try and get back on track with my Goodreads. This was in December I read this book, and I did not expect to enjoy this book so much. It is 200 pages, 260 pages-ish. It's a really short book, and it's about this single mum, and she has 2 kids. She's just split up from her husband. He is like constantly nagging her, and he's a horrible guy. He's abusive and mentally and physically abusive. And she meets Nick. So Nick owns a Christmas tree farm, and he's also a single dad, and he became a dad when he was about 18, so his son is quite a lot older, and he's always been looking after him. He's never really looked to have a love life or anything because he's so busy on the farm. He ends up accidentally, well, they end up meeting for one reason or another, and he accidentally ends up talking about Elf on the Shelf to these kids, and they don't know what Elf on the Shelf is because the mum can't afford to do it right now, and she doesn't have the time or the energy. I mean, she's looking after 2 kids and trying to balance a job. So he decides to be the Elf on the Shelf person and move the elf around. Such a beautiful story. I would highly recommend it. It's on Kindle Unlimited, and yeah, it was a real big shocker. I really did not expect to enjoy it so much. Winter with You, I'm gonna again say why did I read this? This was a bunch of short novellas that a load of really good romance writers did. So this one was by Ali Hazelwood, I think, and I'm not gonna lie, without telling you too much, because it's literally like a 100-page book, so if I told you anything it would just ruin the entire book. This male character came off as a stalker in this book. It's the type of book where the male character likes the female main character, and he has done since the start of the book, and there's flashbacks of like when they were kids and stuff, they used to know each other. and he asks her out like 5 times over there, like knowing each other, and it's like he keeps coming back, and you know, low-key, if you told me it was a thriller, I would believe you, because it's a bit creepy. Like, he just won't leave her alone even though she's like, I don't want to be with you. Next we have My December Darling. Oh my god, I really like this book. I'm gonna say I had fun. I really liked this. It was a cute December read. We had a female main character who is like very standoffish, yes, and she has her walls up, and then we have our male main character who's very charming. They bond over things, they bond over their hobby of Lego and stuff. It's so adorable. Again, it's a short story, December cozy read, would really recommend it for like the Christmas vibe. Next we have Nothing Like the Movies. I'm gonna say I feel no different now that I've read this. This book is definitely a book that was unnecessary. It didn't need to be written. So this one is a sequel to Better Than the Movies. It is written by Lynn Painter. And this book is set in the future of where Liz and Wes now have broken up, and Wes is trying to win Liz back. Great idea, loved the look of it. However, Liz's character felt like a new person. Like, Liz in the first book was a rom-com person. She was obsessed with them because her mum grew up with her watching them, and that's the whole point of the book. Every chapter started with a rom-com quote. We had Bridget Jones and things. And this book, no, I wasn't feeling it. Liz for some reason hates rom-coms now because she's broken up with that boy from high school, but all I could think was like, why would you all of a sudden just like throw away something that you and your mum who died bonded over? Like, that was just over a boy. Like, that just didn't compute to me. The only thing I actually enjoyed was the fact that we got to see more of Wes, but yeah, it was alright. I don't know. I actually have One by One, and I'm gonna say I had fun. This one is by Frida McFadden, and it was a thriller. They're in the forest, and then slowly something is killing them off, and I did enjoy it. The ending was a little bit rushed. I felt like the ending was all finished in the space of 10 pages, like the big shocker plot twist. I kind of felt like I could have done with like 50 pages, but other than that, I really enjoyed it. Had a good time. Wasn't groundbreaking, but yeah, it was alright. Housemaid's Wedding, there isn't much to say about that. I'm gonna say I feel no different. I've read this. It's a little novella about our housemaid and Enzo and their wedding. It was very bland. I mean, from the cover it looks really cool, but the actual wedding was literally like just getting eloped. Don't know why I needed a book about seeing them getting eloped. Next we have Love Light Farms. I don't know where to put this. I really enjoyed this book, and it was in my top 24 books of 2024. So I feel like putting it in yes. I had a really good time reading this book, and it was all set around a Christmas tree farm. So again, it's so festive. We have 2 main characters who have been best friends forever, and it's like they've never actually communicated like their feelings towards each other, and it's like everyone in the town can see something that they can't, and it's just so cute. It's a real good festive read, and as I said, it was in my top 24 books. Next is Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and I'm actually going to be putting this in yes. I really had a good time reading this book. Really impressed me, and it was given that small town like Gilmore Girls sort of vibes, but it wasn't Gilmore Girls as in like a carbon copy of Gilmore Girls. It was so nice. It's a lovely little rom-com, and my favourite parts about this book was the fact that there was always like nosy neighbours who were always gossiping. I just found it so funny. Really enjoyed it. I have The Nightingale, and I would be lying to myself if I didn't put it in. I think about this regularly. This book is actually, I want to film about this book. I really do. It's a very dark book. It's a historical fiction set in World War II about 2 sisters, and they have their morals tested throughout the book. I went to this book pretty blind, and it hit so hard. It's so good. And I think about it regularly. Like, it's just such a good book. It's actually on my shelf as well in the other room, and it's got sticky notes still sticking out of it of all my thoughts throughout the book. So yeah. Handmaid's Tale. I'd lie if I said I didn't feel different, so I'm gonna put it in I had fun. I don't know if I'd call it fun reading this book. It's a dystopian world, and it's where America has now got new laws where women are just used as baby makers, or they are brothel workers, or they get to have the privilege of being married to a guy who owns you. It's a very dystopian world, and it's kind of like meant to be, it was written in the 90s, and it's meant to be kind of like this is what the world could turn into. I genuinely read it because it's now on America's ban list of books they're banning in 2025 potentially. Read, but it's very eye-opening. Like, there's so many similarities of the world now compared to it. It's hard to read, honestly, because you see so many similarities between this and America. So yeah, it was a very good book, and I think it's an important book. I wouldn't say I had fun, but yeah. It was good though, it was good. Next is The Book Thief. I'm gonna have to put this in. I think about it regularly because I do. This book, the thing for me with this book, it's all written from the perspective of Death. Death is narrating this book, and you see him see really horrible things, and he expresses like his horror at what the human race can do to each other, and it's such a good book. We follow this young girl, Liesel, and it's her, we see through her eyes World War II, and yeah, it's really good. I love a historical fiction. I'm a history girl. We have Bride. I'm gonna say, what do I want to say? I'm gonna say I had fun. I definitely say I'd had fun with this book. This book was a supernatural book, which I don't think I'd read one that I actually enjoyed before this. We had vampires and werewolves in this book, well, weres and vampires, and some like alliance between them where a were and a vampire have to marry. There's loads of twists and turns, and it's really good, but it's very like, it's not, what's I say? It's not mega serious. It's very cutesy at times, and I really just enjoyed it. I had a good time. Next, have The Exception to the Rule. I feel like I need to put all of these books in the same category apart from one. These are the little novellas that this group of romance writers came out with in the summer. So Exception to the Rule, I'm probably going to put I Feel No Different. I'm going to do the rest of them as well. Worst Wingman, same. With Any Luck, I'm going to put in Why Did I Read This? Because I'm pretty sure that one was like a girl who was the female best friend of a guy, and she was trying to stop him from having a wedding with somebody, and I don't like that. Homewrecker, no. Drop Cover and Hold On. I'm going to say I had fun with that. And Rosie and the Dreamboat, had a lot of fun. So there's not much to say about these books because they're literally like 100 pages, but they're all very cute romance quick reads that if you're wanting to read something quick, then go for it. But the only ones I'd recommend are Drop Cover and Hold On and Rosie and the Dreamboat. Both quite cute, and both from authors I'd never heard about. The ones from the authors I'd heard about I didn't enjoy. But yeah, cute. None of them are related, so you can literally read any of them. But yes. Next, I have Her Majesty's Royal Coven. That's gonna go with there. Why did I read this? Her Majesty's Royal Coven for me actually could go in its a whole new category, if I'm being honest. It was the worst book I probably ever read. Where am I from? Read ever. It's meant to be about witches and this like coven of witches that are like secret, and they fight the bad guys for the sake of the human race. However, this book tried to include, what am I trying to say? Tried to include topics today and just made it, I'm including it to tick a box. That's what it felt like. So there was a transgender character, and there was a lesbian relationship, and there was also the talk of racism as well. But the way in which it was done, in my opinion, was kind of offensive. Like the way that we had this lesbian couple who, there was the typical Hollywood idea of one of them has to be like the man of the relationship and one of them was like hyper feminine. It was just so stereotypical. I also thought that the transgender character was also written very like, I am transgender and that's my only personality, which transgender people have so much more than just that. Like, why couldn't we have given this character more and an actual personality? Like, it really bugged me that it was just like, okay, we've ticked the box, moving on. Like, it really annoys me. Strangers next. This was a dark romance, and I'm gonna say, I kind of want to say I Feel No Different. I did have fun. I'm gonna put in I had fun. I did have fun with this book. It was not the best book I've ever read in the world. It was very short and there were some bits in it I was like, wait, what? But overall I did enjoy it. It was very spicy, and that is honestly all I read a dark romance for, is to see the crazy spice. Pulling myself out here. Next, oh, this one is a very good book, Song of Achilles. Oh my god, I read this solely because my friend said to me, you have to read it, like I can't deal with this book, it's amazing. And I was like, surely not. So I found it on audiobook and I read the whole thing and cried my eyes out. It is so poetic, this book. It's so quotable, and they're quotes that I still remember to this day. A historical fiction / romance, a gay romance between Patroclus and Achilles, and they are best friends at the start. Well, they become friends, then they become best friends, and then they figure out that actually they have feelings for each other, and it's so heartbreaking because we know what happens to Achilles, and it's a brilliant book. I'm just thinking about like the end quote, and it was just, yeah. I had a book that I read by Ashley Winstead, and this is The Last Housewife. I'm going to put this in yes, yes, because this book by Ashley Winstead I'd read before, In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, and I loved that book. I read that last year. This book felt exactly the same, like, oh my god, the feelings I felt, the emotions I felt. It's a book that is centered around cults and being indoctrinated into cults as a young person, and then basically like one of her friends who was in the cult with her, they managed to escape. She turns up dead, and she wants to find out what has happened, because it seems too coincidental that when they were in the cult together they had a third best friend who died whilst they were in the cult, and it just felt too coincidental, and she's trying to figure out what's happened. There's a lot of like underground back deals they find out about, like backroom deals, corrupt police. There's loads. It's really good and I liked it. Think Again, I'm gonna have to say, is I Feel No Different. I've read this. This is a book by Jacqueline Wilson. I thought this was going to be good. This was meant to be a spin-off of the Girls series, and it was terrible. It romanticizes things that it shouldn't, and once again we have a lesbian relationship that is just not shown to be a positive thing. There is a lesbian relationship in this that is just not seen as like a regular relationship. They try and make it something that it's like seen as in the films of being, and I didn't like that. Like this book, we had this idea that if it was a man and woman together, it's because it's like a sexual relationship, and then if it's a woman and woman, it's because it's like more emotional. And it's like, you do know, like a woman and woman being together is the same as a man and a woman being together. Like, you know, they're just two people in love. Like it really bugged me basically. A bisexual character in it was written such in like a stereotypical way, and like from a bisexual, like it was just so irritating. I was just like Hers, I actually really enjoyed. I'm gonna put this in yes, yes. It's not groundbreaking, like I'm not gonna put it in Think About It regularly because I don't, but it's a really good thriller. It's probably one of the best I've read, and it very much pushed the envelope on what people usually put in thrillers. Like it's set in the UK, and we have topics of like underage drug usage, underage drinking, paedophilia, we have underage sex, we have SA, there's a lot in there, and it's a very good book though. Very dark. Swift and Saddled, I'm gonna put in I Have Fun. It's not my favourite of the Rebel Blue Ranch books, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think I'm also gonna do the first book if I can find it. And there for now. It's not gonna stay there, it's gonna put in yes, yes. I really liked the series in general. Swift and Saddled wasn't my favourite, but I still enjoyed it. Done and Dusted, however, was amazing. So Swift and Saddled is like they had like a moment, and then later on realised that, oh wait, we're working together, oh this is awkward now. Done and Dusted was brother's best friend, and oh my god, it was so good. Cowboy romance. And then we've also got Lost and Lassued, which I'm also going to quickly put up there, and that's also going to be in yes, yes, because this is sister's best friend, and it was really good. I loved it. It was amazing. And also it was hate to love. It was like enemies to lovers. So Done and Dusted is like he's teaching her to love something again, something that she's scared of but has so much fun doing. It's a very good book. It's very good. Okay, next we have the Natural series. So I'm going to start off with the Naturals, the first one. I'm going to put it in I had fun, really enjoyed it. We have these kids who they all have like gifts because of how they've grown up, and it helps the FBI uncover cold cases. I'm going to next put Killer Instinct in the same pile. I really like that as well. I thought it was a very good book. And then all in, I'm going to have to put in Yes, Yes, because this one is where all of the characters in this book worked together, whereas in Naturals and Killer Instinct there's only 2 of the kids who work together. In, all of them work together and they all use their skills to try and uncover the truth of a case. Really liked it. And then Bad Blood, I don't know where to put this. I kind of, oh, what's happening? Ah! I kind of want to put it in, I'm gonna put in Yes, Yes, because this book was really good as well, and I actually really enjoyed the ending. It was a novella. I'm gonna put this in, why did I read this? I wasn't really keen on this book and the characters just fell a bit flat for me, that's all. Wild Eyes, I didn't like this. I feel really mean saying that, but I really didn't like this book. I thought that the female main character was very whiny and didn't like it. It was meant to be rich girl and then normal guy together. She doesn't even know how to like make a bed, like that's how rich she is. She has everything done for her. He is a single dad as well. He's slightly older than her, and they have this like frenemy sort of thing going on, and then boom. I didn't really like it. I felt it very weird. The kids, you know, one minute they felt like they were 5 years old, the next minute they felt like they were 14. I didn't like this book, and I'm very sorry. I wish I did. I really wish I did. Next I did Yellowface. I'm putting this in I Had Fun. This book, we saw a white character take a story from a Asian character who died and publishing it as her own, but she took out a lot of the storyline and basically whitewashed it, making a lot of the white characters, changing them from being the enemy characters and the bad guys into savior characters. There was a big topic on cancel culture, social media cancel culture. Very interesting idea, and we saw our filming character really try and excuse a lot of her racism throughout the book. Let's kill men and get away with it. I had fun with this book. I didn't expect it. It was a good book, nothing groundbreaking or anything, but it was decent. I listened to it on audiobook, and we had this girl who accidentally killed a man once, and she loved the feeling of it, having that power over this guy who tried to have power over her. He ends up killing guys who try and take advantage of women in one way or another, and then one day it goes wrong and she's kind of like, what have I done? And it's really good. I liked it a lot. The ending was a bit like, wait, what the hell's happening? But overall, really liked it. Daydream, I'm gonna put it in Yes, Yes. I really like Daydream. We had this is one of the reasons I like Daydream. We had one female character who was very much conscious of herself, didn't believe in herself much, struggled making friends, and then we had a male main character who was very much, how do I say this? What am I trying to say? I've lost track of everything. Oh yeah, we had a male main character who struggles with sensory overload, and he had some neurodivergent, what are they called? Tendencies, and it was very nice to see from like the guy having it and watching this girl like try and help him through this and like try and like assist him when he needs and basically just be there for him. Very nice story. It was so sweet, their relationship, and the spice was good. Oh, next we have Gone, and I think I'm gonna put this in Yes, Yes. I don't know if I'm putting it there. I'm gonna put it in Yes, Yes. I really like Gone. It's a book series that I read when I was 15 years old, and I thought I'd really read it when I was 20, and I really enjoyed it. It's dystopian. I've explained this book so many times, so I'm not gonna do it again, but it's dystopian, it's amazing. Shadow and Storm and what's the other? Shadow and Storm, that's 2 book titles mixed together. Siege and Storm and Shadow and Bone. I'm gonna put Shadow and Bone in Okay, I Had Fun, and I'm gonna put Siege and Storm there as well. These are both books by Leah Bardugo. Really had a good time with them. They are fantasy, and I need to read the last one, but I just need like a reason to read it. Like I need something to like kick me into action with that book. It's Between Us. This book was good. I had a real good time with this. I'm gonna put it in Yes, Yes. We follow two characters who at the start we have no idea about them. All we know is that they live together, and it's like they're both trying to convince you that they're the one in the right, and by the end of it, like, you make your decision on who you believe more. And they've both done terrible things to be in the situation they're in now, and it's just, yes, it's like flashbacks and stuff, and then it's very good. It's one where you've got to like listen to the storytellers, and then you're like, oh, I believe you. No, I believe you now. Oh wait, who do I believe? Do I believe either of you? We have Stephen King's 11/22/63, I think. This one was decent, my first Stephen King book ever. I'm gonna put this in yes, yes. I had a real good cry after this book. It was a very long book, and it's very good. It's about a main character who went back in time to try and stop the Kennedy assassination. Very good concept. Loved the story writing, the descriptions, everything about this book I enjoyed. And yes, I found my love for Stephen King with this book. Butcher and Blackbird, I'm gonna put this in yes, yes. I really had a great time with this book, really loved it. And it was a very interesting premise. It was two characters who are serial killers end up falling in love with each other. There are rom-com sections, there is dark romance sections, there is horror sections. It's a book with all my favourite tropes in, basically. Travis, I'm gonna put this in, I don't know, because I gave this book a 5-star. You know what, compared to the other books, do I put it in here? I don't know, I feel like the ending actually made this a yes, yes. This book, Travis gets his redemption arc from Archer's voice, and it's very emotional towards the end, and yeah. It was a decent book, I really enjoyed it, I had a good time. Hate Mail is going in yes, yes. I love this book, and I spoke about this in my 24 books that I loved in 2024 video. Really good, and took me by surprise, which is why it's so high up as well, because it really shocked me. No one speaks about this book. It's really good. Love Unwritten, I'm actually going to put this in I Feel No Different Now. I enjoyed aspects. I thought that the kid in this book was sweet, but there was a lot of topics in this book I wish that we hadn't had, like, or at least a trigger warning for. So yeah, I wasn't a big fan, and compared to Love Redesigned, I just felt very underwhelmed. Daisy Jones and the Six. I had fun with this book. I'm gonna put it in okay, I had fun. I think my favourite thing about this book was the fact that I read it on audiobook, and the narrators felt like real people. Like, it felt like I was actually listening to like a podcast of all these people recounting their time that they were in this band together. There is so much that happens. It's all set in like the 80s, I think. Very rock and roll, loads of like drugs and things. So many, it's, yeah. I don't know what I'm saying. It is really good. It's not like, you know, a super sweet, beautiful book. It's like got raw stuff in it, and it's very like, you know, it's not happy ending sort of book. It was decent, I really liked it. A Photo Finish, I'm gonna put in yes, yes. Really enjoyed this book, and the plot twist really got me. This book as a whole got me. It's like stuff I can't tell you about, because it's like when it happens in the book it shocks you, and it's like, oh my god. So you have to read it to understand, but I would highly recommend. Off to the Races, I'm gonna put in I had fun, and I had a lot of fun reading this book. I read this when I went on holiday, and it was a cowboy romance. Of course I loved it. It was really sweet, and we watched these two people like break down each other's barriers, and they were like frenemies to lovers, and it was really good. I loved it, and there was a big like racing storyline as well, which was brilliant. A novel love story, I'm gonna also say I had fun. I did enjoy this book, and it's where this female main character ends up getting stuck in this romance story of one of her favourite romance books ever, and like that sounds like an amazing storyline. I want to be there. So I really like this. A lot of people said it wasn't like groundbreaking, so they weren't happy with it, but I personally find it very sweet. It just felt like a nice cozy rom-com, and there's like other stuff happening though, like secrets that come out and things, and yeah, it's a very good book, and it was very emotional as well. Like I had a little cry with it. Paradise Problem, I'm gonna put here. I don't remember it, I'm gonna be honest, but I do remember thinking when I ended it, thank God I finished that book, because it didn't interest me. And I feel like I find this with Christina Lauren's books. There was only ever one that I've liked, and that was Love and Other Words. I've just never really enjoyed any of her other books, so I think I'm gonna stop trying them, because yeah, I've just not enjoyed them much. Yours truly, Abby Jimenez, I'm gonna put in why did I read this? Really didn't like it, and there's a mental health storyline that I didn't enjoy. I spoke about this in the worst books of 2024, by the way, so go check that video out if you want an in-depth explanation. We're gonna do Lost Star. Lost Star is the end of a series and I really enjoyed it, so I'm gonna put it in I had fun. Very decent, you know what, I'm gonna put it in yes. It was a very decent ending to the series. I was very emotional, cried my eyes out. I think I actually read it in a video. It was a good read. I really enjoyed it. It was a great end to the, what's it called, Fifth Wave series. Really, yeah, that series got me. Part of Your World is a yes. Really love this book. Again, it's in my 24 books of 2024, so has to be in yes. Abby Jimenez, I like a lot of her books. It's only Yours Truly that I didn't like, but yeah, I do like Abby Jimenez in general. There's another one here just for the summer and it's also going to go in yes. Yeah, they're both decent romance books. On You, I'm gonna put in Why Did I Read This? Hated both of the main characters in this book. They were both selfish. And when you hate the main characters in the book you're reading, like, it's not a great sign, is it? So, it has to go there. Brothers Hawthorne, I'm gonna say, I kind of want to put it here. I don't know, I did enjoy it. I'm gonna put it in I had fun. I did enjoy it. It's not groundbreaking. If you want to give it a go for it, but it wasn't the best thing I've ever read. And we'll leave it at that. Good Kingdom, I'm gonna put in yes. I really did enjoy. The ending I did see coming a mile away though, and I don't know how I guessed it. Like, it was so, I don't know, I actually have no clue how I guessed it, but I had a feeling. I think someone spoiled it on TikTok, to be honest, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But I did enjoy it, and it was a good end to the duology of the Six of Crows series. Evidence of the Affair, I don't feel any different. I enjoyed it at the time. Read this in a queue at Epcot in Disney, so read it literally start to finish in a queue. Like, that's how long I was in the queue for. Beach Read. I don't remember this book. I don't really like Emily Henry's writing. I think it's alright, but it's not the best. I'm gonna put it in I had fun. It really can't go any higher than that because I don't remember it. I do remember enjoying it. I think the main character, I think there was like I think the ending is what made me like this even more than like the halfway point. I was like, okay, it's decent, and then at the end I was like, okay, yeah, I like this book a bit. But yeah, I'll put that there. It was cute, but I definitely don't think I'm going to carry on reading many Emily Henry books because they don't interest me that much, that's all. We have got Hawthorne Legacy, Final Gambit and Grandest Game. Hawthorne Legacy is going to go in yes. Final Gambit's going to go in I had fun. I read Final Gambit in a plane journey, by the way, from start to finish. And then Grandest Game is going to go in I had fun. I did enjoy it. I had a good time. I think I'm like one of the only people in the universe who enjoyed that book because everyone else is like, oh, this book shouldn't have existed. And I'm like, I don't know, I don't care. Mr. Masters is this guy who's not wearing a shirt. I don't know why I read this book. It was horrible. I loved T.L. Swan usually. I read her Mile High Club, and this was a spin-off with some of the friends, and it did not hit. I didn't like it. Infinite Sea, I'm going to put it in high. I had fun. It's definitely not like a yes book, but I had fun with it. Definitely not better than Lost Star. Lost Star was a lot better. Infinite Sea felt a little bit boring, but I still had fun with it. Wild Love. Where do I put this? In a way, I feel like it should be here. And I think it was one of the best romances I read of the year. So yeah, I'm going to put it there. I really liked it. It's my tier list. I can do what I want. King of Sloth, I feel no different. I thought the male main character was a bit too young in this book. And the storyline dragged, like, could have been 100 pages shorter. Didn't enjoy it. Perfect Sun, why did I read this? There's no other words for that. Why did I read it? Why have I got The Housemaid down twice? Oh, I know what I've bloody done, haven't I? I've put down The Housemaid twice, thinking that I'd saved The Housemaid Secret as well, and I didn't. Okay, this one's going to be The Housemaid, and this one's going to be The Housemaid Secret. Oh my god, I can't pick it up. The Housemaid Secret. I enjoyed both of them. I loved them both. I know it says The Housemaid twice, but I saved the wrong picture. Housemaid's Watching will stay there. And I'll say nothing about this book because I said it in the worst books of 2024. In the video that I read this book, I actually also was like, what the hell is this book? And ranted for like 10 minutes. So I'm not wasting any more breath on that book. I've next got The Reappearance of Rachel Price. Did enjoy this. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna put it in yes, yes. I feel like, again, I'm one of the only people who enjoyed this book. I really liked it, had a great time, and yeah, I think people expect too much of authors like Holly Jackson. Oh, put that back there. Holly Jackson, because obviously she did the Good Girls Guide to Murder series. Everyone like expects these groundbreaking books to happen, and you know, it's not going to always happen. You know, some books are going to be great and still not be absolutely groundbreaking, but that doesn't mean it's a bad book. But yeah, some people have too high expectations for some authors. Broken Vow, I'm going to put in yes, yes. Actually, in fact, I'm going to do the whole Brutal Prince series because I read them all this year. Broken Vow there, Bloody Heart there, yeah. Heavy Crown, I had fun. Oh, this is getting tricky. Savage Lover, I had fun. Stolen Heir, yes, yes. And Brutal Prince, yes, yes. Yeah, I'm happy with that. 4 of the books, absolutely loved. 2 of them, didn't mind, still enjoyed. But the overall series was brilliant. Legendary and Caraval, I'm going to do at the same time. Caraval, I'm going to put I Feel No Different. Enjoyed aspects, but overall I kind of, you know, if I hadn't read it I wouldn't be mad. But Legendary, I wish I hadn't read it. Like, honestly felt like I wasted a lot of time reading this book, and I don't know, unpopular opinion, but I just thought it was boring. Survive the Night, I enjoyed the first half, and then the end made me think, what have I done with my time? I really wish I hadn't read this book. First half was great. It was a lot of like, is the guy driving us? Like, is he really who he says he is? Really good the first half, and then I don't actually understand what happened. It just went downhill. 10 Things That Never Happened, again, is a why did I read this? The characters were so annoying, and I did like Alexis Hall. I liked her boyfriend material book, but this book just did not hit, and it makes me angry. The rest of the books, apart from this one, I'll put that there. Powerless, no words can be spoken about that book because I hate it so much. I actually forgot to mention it in the worst books of 2024. Can you believe that? It's like the worst book I ever read. I didn't even mention it, I forgot. Archer's Voice, I'm actually gonna put in... No, I'm gonna put it in Think About You Regularly. Archer's Voice makes me cry so much, and people say it's just such a sad book. It's not, truly, honestly, it's a brilliant book. It is so much fun and I really enjoyed it. Iron Flame, I'm gonna put in yes, yes. Not as good as Fourth Wing, but Iron Flame was good and I did enjoy it. Where's Molly, I'm gonna put here. Where's Molly's a novella for the HD Carlton series of Haunting and Hunting Adeline. If you want to read it, it is on Kindle Unlimited, and I did do a video based, like, all centered around this book. If I've got videos centered about any of these books, I'll try and link them down below, but there may be a lot of links then. I did enjoy that book. It was spicy. It was very short, but I think the length of it was perfect. I don't think it could have been any longer. I just think that she definitely got the right amount of length with that book. Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is definitely a yes, yes book for me. I've really enjoyed it. And again, forgot to mention it in the 24 best books of the year. Don't know how, but I did. Killjoy, I'm going to say I had fun. It was a novella to the Good Girls Guide to Murder series. It was like, when they were younger, a prequel to the series, and they all had this like murder mystery day, and we see how Pip really like started to love mysteries and like putting the pieces together. It was a nice little prequel. Unhoneymooners. I remember it, and I remember hating that the male main character trusted his best friend so much. But I get that he was the best friend, but at the same time the best friend was horrible. He was a horrible guy, but he did have a good redemption. The male main character, not the best friend. The best friend's trash. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Say You Swear, I'm gonna put right up in, right up in I Think About You Regularly. It's a great book. I read at the start of the year, and if I can still remember a book that I read in January, it's a good book. I had fun with Wildfire, I'm gonna put that there. Coraline, I had a lot of fun with. I love Coraline the film, and I got the book from my mum at Christmas and I read it all on Christmas Day. I really enjoyed it. It was very similar to the film, but there were aspects as well that were different, so I loved that. It was so good. And there was pictures, which I'm a sucker for pictures. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, I'm gonna have to put in, I I think about it regularly. I do. It's such a good book. The Way I Am Now, I'm gonna say is I had fun. This is a sequel to The Way I Used to Be, which is a very heartbreaking book about an SA survivor, and this book is her trying to build herself back from the rubbles that she has ended up in. Like, she really like hit a low point at the end of The Way I Am Now, and this book was her trying to like build her way back up to where she wants to be in life. Happy Place, I wish I hadn't read it. I didn't like it. I just found it boring and overrated. I didn't have fun. As Good as Dead, I'm gonna put this in yes. I really, you know what? No, I'm gonna put this in I think about it regularly. I do. I really think about As Good as Dead regularly. It's a very good book, great ending to the Good Girls Guide to Murder series, and there's so much that happens in it that I'm like, the hell? Like, it's so good. The next is the whole ACOTAR series. So how am I gonna place this? I feel like Silver Flames, I feel no different. Sorry. Court of Thorns and Roses, yes. Frost and Starlight, yes. Mist and Fury, I'm just gonna put them there, these ones, so I can actually move up, because I'm doing it on an iPad and I can't get to the top of the screen. Mist and Fury, these two are going up there. They have to, they're so good. Let's have a look at all the ranking overall now. So I Think About This Regularly, we have a grand total of 10 books in I Think About This Regularly. I think that's very accurate. These are books that I do think about a lot from this year, I really enjoyed. Then we have yes, which is my biggest section, which is great. It means that most of the books that I read in 2024 were books that I adored. Okay, I Had Fun, which again is the second biggest section, which is great because these again are books that I enjoyed. As long as the bottom section is not the biggest section, I'm happy. It's a successful year. And at the bottom we have I Feel No Different About This, which is books like that I had aspects that I enjoyed, but overall just I could live without this book. I'm really not arsed about it. Bottom section, why did I read this? I can't believe there's so many books that I actually didn't like. I'm looking through them all and I completely agree with all of that. I hope you have enjoyed. I'll see you guys soon with another video. And yeah, this was all the books that I read in 2024. 100 books, we did it. We reached our goal. That is insane.